Okay, so I've actually come prepared with a plan today. So I want to get a bunch of enchantments on my armor and diamond tools with mending and all that. But the only problem is I need a good source of experience, XP. Um, Only problem with that is I only really kind of knew how to make an Enderman farm, so I assumed I needed to, go to the end and beat the game in order to make a farm. And then just kind of remembered that there are regular XP farms, so I looked up a tutorial, um, and I looked up a tutorial specifically by Blazed MC about how to make an efficient one. Pardon me. So I'm going to just follow that. Yeah. And I saw another one that recommended to put it over the ocean, so I think I'm probably going to build out from here a bit. Is this here considered the ocean? How do I... Does it tell you what the biome is? Hang on, let's see. I'm looking all over. I really don't look at this stuff. Minecraft beach. Hang on. I might have to like build it out from over there. Hang on. But I just heard it's good practice to build it over water. I don't know if that's for increased spawn rates or whatever. I'm just gonna follow what it tells me. I don't fully understand it, but I don't know. He did a good job at explaining. All right, so I'm still at a beach. Let's see. Ocean. Okay. So right around here is an ocean. So yeah, I can like build it right about here. Okay, and that's like super out of the way from the city. So I actually kind of like that. I didn't want it to be too close to the city. It would feel weird. So okay, we'll do that. That'll be cool. I'm gonna be building it up quite a bit in order to prevent mobs from spawning down here, affecting the spawn rates. At least that's what I understood. Again, I'm just kind of... I got everything written down, so that way I don't have to, like, play someone else's video, because that feels a little scummy. But I think, in order to get over here, I'm just gonna do this. Yeah. Yes. Yes, yes. Boom. Boom. Alright. And I'll make all this look a lot fancier later, but I am just going to focus on getting materials right now. Cobblestone might be the easiest thing to get. I forget how much I already have. I already have quite a bit, but I know I'm going to need a lot, so... I'm also going to try and make a... I know how to make a water elevator. That is not foreign to me. I have done that before, and I do have... Well, I might need to go back to the nether just to grab soul sand. Or I could borrow one of these, but I feel like I'd rather go to the nether. But I can do the water elevator properly later. I could just have it be just a single source of water. Might as well grab a bucket of water. Oh, there's two. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay. So first things first. You go out here. Oh, okay, I definitely gotta clean that up. Alright. Ba. Okay, alright. And then I open this up. It says it's not a beach. Okay. And ocean. Okay. So it becomes an ocean right here on... What is that? That's 193. So... Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, let's go out 11. So that'll be 104. Or 204. Awesome. How deep is this? Oh, that's a little deep. That's okay. Sweet. Alright. Don't need that anymore. I'm just gonna build back out. Simple little bridge. I can make everything look a little prettier later. And then I need to build up to Y180. Come on. And there we go. Alright. Okay. I'm actually gonna make this too wide. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I need this one more time. Yes, I need to go up to 180. No, that's not exactly what like Blazed MC said to do, but I saw another one say that, and I figured why not? It wouldn't hurt, just to be sure. Oh, jolly. This is going to be fun. No, but it should make things much easier to get XP without having to go to the end. Boom. Almost there. About 30 more blocks. 20 more. Cool. All right. Now let's do a 4x6 platform. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4. Oops. That's okay. All right. I don't think I need that anymore. Should be good. Awesome. Now I'm gonna place that there so I can get back up easy. Actually, one sec. If I'm gonna do this right, yeah, I gotta make sure I contain this. If I do that, does that prevent it from being weird and wonky? Oh shoot, it connected with the old one. Okay, we'll let that go down for a minute. I suppose I will continue building. Pretty sure I need to do this. I'll have hoppers here, a chest here, and then I need to build this up so it's 3 blocks tall. I'm learning this together with you all. Okay. Awesome. So one of those there, slabs there. I need to get a couple stairs for there. Okay. Damn, that takes a while. Well, oh, I can also I can double do it. Nice. Any fucking day now would be appreciated. Oh, well, I could zoom? Whoa. I didn't know that. Well, I could zoom in so much. Wait. I could see my house from here. Oh. I can really see my house from here. Damn. Okay. Neat. Are you done yet? Dude. Get over yourself. Come on. How hard could this possibly be? I think you're almost there. Oh. Okay, there we go. All right, we are good now. Also going to put that there. Boom and boom. Okay. There we go. All right, I'm going to try and beat it down there so I can control it. Okay, so it's going to land right here. Cool. Fuck it, I'll just build up here for a bit. Is that all the cobble I have? Yep, that's all the cobble I have for right now. Dang, it's gonna take a lot of cobblestone. But that's okay. It's a good start. 'Tis a good start. Okay, so I'm gonna be mining cobblestone for a bit. Yeah, because I think that was most of the materials that I had, and I want it to be of a consistent material. Don't want it to look too messy now. Might as well refill these. Sweet. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really come into this with anything to really talk about. I just really wanted to play some Minecraft. Oh man, call me addicted, because I am. And I have a spare pickaxe, hell yeah. Cool. Yeah, so let's farm up a bit of these materials real quick. I'm also gonna need slabs, stairs, hoppers, a double chest. What else? I mean, just a bunch of basic materials. I need a lot of trapdoors, turns out. Like a lot of trapdoors. And some torches for the top. But it should all be pretty basic materials, honestly. So, I don't know, maybe we'll get up to another 4 stacks to start. We'll go from there. We're already getting quite a bit. I guess it'll take too long. Oh, if I don't fuck it up. Oh, man, you know what's super disappointing? I hate to talk about AI again. And I'm not even going to talk about the Disney thing that just came out, where they're doing shit with Sora now. So they pretty much have rights to use their characters, so that's cool. And you know, you got the YouTube CEO saying it's pro AI, it's fucking, all of it's disgusting, but you know what really hurts? What really fucking hurts is when you learn that one of your favorite channels, since you were a child, starts using AI. That's pretty sad, right? I don't know, that's really sad. That happened to me today. I watch rap battles. I know some people find it cringe. I find them just fun. And ERB, you know, Epic Rap Battles of History, the OG in that genre, they've kind of slowed down their uploads lately. I mean, a lot. They used to do, like, big season releases. And then they got unpartnered with Maker Studios, because I believe Maker Studios is gone, disappeared. So they weren't able to spend other people's money. And so they went independent for a season, and then after that season, they kind of just learned that, or at least I think they just kind of learned that they'd rather take things at their own pace. They're kind of like soft retired, from what I can tell. They're just kind of making episodes whenever they want at this point. Like, they're not making it a season-based thing. Which, you know, is fine. Totally down for that. And they released their newest one today, called the Red Baron versus the White Death. I had to look up who those two were, but apparently they're related to war, and they're war soldiers, essentially, known for killing a lot of people, and frozen pizza, apparently. But they usually release a behind the scenes with every video around the same time that they upload the main video. And I find them fascinating because they give you a really good behind the scenes peek of how everything was produced. And I find that really neat, and I love looking at that stuff. We don't get a whole lot of that anymore nowadays, unfortunately. I really wish there were. But hey, I get why they don't. I don't even like doing them. But I digress. The reason I'm talking about it is because in their behind the scenes, they explained for how in one of the shots... I gotta shut my blinds, hang on. The sun is like beaming through them now. Thank you. For one of the shots that they were doing with the Red Baron, they explicitly... they essentially sing the praises of Google Flow, an AI generative video software. Or tool, I don't even know if it's software. I've never touched it, I'm never gonna fucking touch it, it's disgusting, I hate it. But, I don't know, man. It's like, it's disappointing to hear they used AI, especially since I know that they are artists themselves. But just, I don't know, they used it creatively and transformatively. Like, they're not, like, of the mindset of, oh, we're just gonna replace the people who would have been able to do this with AI. You know, I mean, they absolutely could have done that, but it saved them time and money to use AI for some of their shots. I think they mentioned it was actually used in a couple of their shots. But looking at the video first, you wouldn't be able to tell because they used it properly. It's like kind of defeating to say this because seeing how they used it, it seemed reasonable and logical. And while I still think there was a more artistic way that they could have done that they could have achieved what they were trying to do, yeah, AI would have done it quicker. I still feel icky about it because I think putting in the time to learn the craft and putting your own time into intentionally creating every aspect of the video to how you want it to be, it feels like it's more useful and more productive of your time rather than just resorting to letting AI do everything for you. Just feels icky and gross. But it looked good, unfortunately. I think they used it in a very creative way, something that wasn't abusive or unethical. I just kind of find it disappointing, you know? And it hurts to say that. It does kind of hurt to say that. You know, it's my pride as an animator. 1, 2, 3, sorry. Focus up a little bit here. And I need 2 stairs. I don't want wood stairs. I'm gonna go with... I already have cobblestone. I just use that. Okay. I don't know. It's disappointing. I don't think I need to defend myself as to why it's disappointing. It just is. You know, seeing a channel that you really like use something that you very strongly dislike and disagree with. It's not fun, but I get why they did it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I do not blame them for doing it. But then that brings back the the conversation of the other group of people who did it first. That's Corridor Crew, and I know a lot of people are really angry at them for the video that they did. However, I kind of want to defend them a bit because they were the first to kind of pioneer that. They opened Pandora's box, and that's not exactly why I'm defending them. I still strongly disagree with how they chose to do certain things, of course. I only need 4 of those. I might as well bring up one of these. Yes. I might as well bring up some ladders as well. Okay. Alright, I think I'm ready. But yeah, Corridor Crew did their whole rock, paper, scissors thing. Now saying that out loud, I'm realizing that I'm also doing a rock, paper, scissors project that has nothing to do with AI, and I'm much more proud of that. But literally, the only reason they made that video, or those videos, is because they wanted to be able to make their own animations. But they aren't fucking animating. Like, you're kind of missing the whole point, guys. right? Like, that's not just me. I feel like it's pretty clear you guys are just avoiding hiring the people to do it the right way, and you're intentionally using tools that are more unethical when you source it from people's work of whom you did not get permission from. It's icky. It's icky. It's icky. Hang on. Boop. Boop. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. And then one here and one here. Booyah! That's how we do it. Cool. Alright. So let's see. This is step... upside downstairs. Build up wall another 16 blocks. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, awesome. Just gonna do that so this bit is a little easier for now. Cool. They ultimately made something original, something that required a lot of tools, a lot of know-how. They weren't just haphazardly putting something together, but they still took reference. They took videos. I don't even call it reference because the AI is essentially taking the animation and Frankensteining it into whatever they need it to be. It's an interesting stylistic choice, I guess you could say, as an excuse. It's insulting to the animation industry because we intentionally put a lot of heart and soul into every frame, and while you could argue that they did that, I'd say they had much less control, so they were a lot more willing to make compromises. And when you are a true artist, there are no compromises. There is one vision and one way to execute that vision. And if you have to sacrifice that vision, unfortunately, sometimes you do have to do that. But, you know, not ideal. And I think, you know, if they really wanted to execute their vision, they would have had to, you know, have animators actually animate their project. But, again, that wasn't the point of the video. The point of the video that they made was, sorry, I'm almost done here, was to try and use AI tools that were very rudimentary at the time in order to make their own video that looked like it was kind of animated-ish. And, you know, still very gross, still disgusting, in my opinion. And I think most people agree with that. They got a lot of backlash for it. And they tried taking that backlash and turning it into something constructive and new. Pardon me. Okay, 3, 2, no, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A little focused here. I gotta build out bridges like this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Ugh. 5, 6, 8. I'm avoiding saying the dreaded line. Okay. Neat. Neat. And now I get to build walls. 2 high walls around all of these bridges. Oops. Cool. Boom. Yes. Awesome. Cool. I need to go get a bunch more materials. So we're gonna go mining again. I'm gonna go, or actually, I have the crafting table up here already, so I might as well use it. And then myself a couple more pickaxes. We're gonna go mining for a little bit longer. This is actually going by a lot faster than I expected. So this is a faster build than I had anticipated, which is a good thing. Cool. I guess that's another good thing about it being over the ocean. You don't gotta worry about falling off. You just jump. Yeah, but their second video was more constructive because they actually hired an artist to build references. And yeah, I suppose that is a more ethical way of doing it. That's not what most of the industry is going to do. They're just going to take whatever tools are available, and then if they get in trouble, they're just going to point the finger at the tool that they used. You know, that's not what they did. They went and actually hired somebody. Good for them, I suppose. I need to go mining. But it's still icky, because it feels ingenuine. I don't know. I feel very weird about the Corridor Crew Rock, Paper, Scissors videos. Because they were made with creative intent and creative integrity. I just don't like that they not only used, but they kind of started the whole AI craze. You know? And I just don't want to support that, even if they did everything right. Like, as unfortunate as that is to say, if you do everything right, that doesn't mean that people are going to like you for doing it. Ultimately, they introduced... They unleashed Pandora's box in kind of the same way that Pixar did. Not saying that it's the same. I think anyone who draws those conclusions are looking for an easy out to an argument, and just saying that they win and whatnot. It's a much more complicated discussion. You know, I could see similarities between the 3D movies that Pixar was developing, and 2D animators realized, oh shit, this is like terrifying. This is going to be like the end of 2D animation, and it unfortunately kind of was. That's why you don't see really any 2D animations in theaters anymore. You might see some of them on TV, but you don't see them to the same extent that Disney used to do, for example. You know, they were known in their golden era for creating these incredibly complex 2D animations, like, I don't know, like all their classic movies. I just look at James Baxter. I mean, he's still around and doing the same stuff, which is incredible because animators like him feel like they're extinct, which is just really unfortunate. The traditional artists, well, not traditional art, but the traditional animators, at least I can speak to, it's almost a lost form of art. I mean, y'all know Stom. He was on the series earlier, and we talked about traditional animation, and he's like the only person that I know who actually does that. And I think it's the coolest fucking thing, because that's like, I would say next to stop motion, that traditional 2D animation is probably one of the most difficult forms of animation. I think stop motion ultimately takes the cake any day. Like, that is insane, because it takes everything that traditional animation does, but it requires so many more materials, so much more expertise, so much more, they have to be so much more careful on set. They have a set. And then, you know, digital animation kind of came in and was similar enough to traditional 2D animation that I don't think it was that big of a deal, though I'd love to talk to people who are part of that industry now that I think about it, because I'm sure it was a huge deal, but I haven't heard that side of the story. I mostly hear about the 2D animators learning about 3D animation and then becoming scared of that because, well, of course, it's fucking terrifying. You know, that's coming for their jobs. It's kind of the same arguments that you see nowadays. And I think that's the reason that a lot of these AI bros tend to lean on that defense. Like, oh, it's just progress. To deny AI is to deny progress. Which is so lazy, man. That's so fucking lazy. That's not a discussion. That's just a cop-out. And you know it is, because you don't know enough about what you're talking about in order to have an actual fucking conversation. I'm getting a little passionate about this. My apologies. But the issue is so much deeper than just being a new form of quote-unquote animation, because it's not. It's... Because, like, even I struggle as an animator to explain to the fullest extent as to why AI generative tools are an issue. Also, side tangent, is there much of a difference between AI generative video and images compared to AI generative text? Or do they always just kind of get lumped in together? Because when I say AI generation, I tend to mean visuals. But I can also see reasoning that we could be talking about. Brain is not working. Brain is on vacation. Okay, I'm just going to get back on track. I think that's semantics. I know I'll eventually need a lot more trapdoors. I can come back down for that later. Is there much of a difference between the slab and a trapdoor? They did say specifically trapdoors. I'll just use trapdoors. It's not a big deal. Not a huge deal. Oh, there are some more cobblestone in here. Nice. Cute. Alright, I'm going to scream. Not really. Oh, man, I'm funny. I had you there, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Anyway. Alright, I need coal. I was going to make a few more torches. Do a few more. I think the issue with AI generative tools and the argument that people try to make, saying that it's just the new version of 3D animation, it's innovative and all that and whatever. It's not innovative. It is as innovative as Combat Gods, right? Because it is just AI generation is just a really complex form of tracing. It's a newspaper collage that is very messy, and the reason that we all say it's unethical is because it takes the work from those people that it sources from without the permission from the original artist. Kind of like Combat Gods. I think there's a lot of parallels you can pull between those, actually. I don't know. I'd say if you're against tracing in art, then you should be against AI art. And I'm not just going to tell you how to feel. I hope that you can understand it, of course. 1, 2, 2. They also said that it was important to do this. Not that. That's counterintuitive. That's not what you should do. Okay. Cool. What am I doing? Just do it like a normal person. Cool. But yeah, it's just unethical because of that tracing factor. It's a lot more complex than tracing. Of course, I am well aware of that. Trust me. But that is the closest comparison that you can draw AI generation to. And I think a lot of the people that you see argue about its ethicality, I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it like it is that they don't understand why tracing is a big deal. It's like, say that you work on something for a long period of time. Many hours, many days, many weeks, many months, maybe even many years. I'm sure all of you out there, even if you're not an artist, like in the traditional meaning, like you're not someone who draws, you're not a 3D artist or an animator or anything like that, I'm sure you've all had a project that has taken you so much of your life, and you are passionate about that creation. Okay, imagine this, right? Imagine someone comes up to you and they're like, "Hey, that's a cool video. Can I take that and like use it to make my own thing, but not as good? Like, can I steal this?" And you're like, "No, I don't want you to take it. This is what I made." And then they just do it anyway. And then you don't get any of the credit. Because it's AI that did it. It's AI that made this tool, not the artist. It's transformative and whatnot. It's all. Do you not see how gross and disgusting that is? That's just so unethical. To take someone's hard work without their permission and use it against their will to help create something that, they don't necessarily agree with. And it's one thing to say, another argument that I see is, it's pretty much the same as using references. Except it's really not. Using reference is studying something, wondering why an artist made certain decisions, trying to connect the dots as to why they did something. A good example is a method that I heard Stone talk about some time ago as to how I think it was actually on the AnimeCast episode that we did. That's a little bit of a throwback, isn't it? Pardon me. But it's kind of like the AnimeCast episode where he discussed how he learns from other animators. He will sit down with them and he will animate the same thing. He will watch them animate and he will copy the same poses that they're animate. He won't trace over them, but he will copy the poses. And then once they do something different, then he will start to question why they did that, why they do something differently. Why is their brain wired to do that instead of what he would normally do? And I love that. I love... that's just so fucking cool, right? I don't know, man. I think that method of learning how other people work, how other people's brains comprehend art and execute movement and animation, the reason why people do certain things, and there are... it's really cool. I really loved hearing that. I've yet to do it myself, but I definitely should. Pardon me. But he is using them as reference. He's trying to learn from them as to how he can do something. While with AI, you're not learning something. You're telling a robot to take what they did but do it differently, right? There's nothing constructive about that. That's the big issue with AI. It's not. I said this on our DojoCast episode. AI can only recreate. It cannot create something new. It can create based on what has already been done. That's it. It can never create anything new because how these AI generative tools work is they steal from... They rarely ever get permission, so I am comfortable using the term steal. But they steal the work from all these other hard-working artists and use them in an unethical way. Sorry, my brain's kind of trailing off. My ADHD. Oy, oy, oy. No, but I'm making sense, right? Like, there's a distinct difference in references and AI taking your work to create something, right? There's a very clear difference. There's also a loss of soul and heart that you have absolutely no control over in AI tools. But hey, that I think that can be argued so long as you are using AI tools creatively and you use them with intent for the integrity of your creative project. Kind of like the ERB video from today. Alan has also used AI. I can talk about this because we mentioned it in the newsletter. But he used Gemini to generate some concept art for AV Addiction. And here's a funny thing about that newsletter. When Alan was talking about how that concept art was made, there was it was a text channel he was in. He's like, "Hey, Gemini made this." And I read that as, oh, a person named Gemini made this, so I will be sure to credit them in the newsletter. And then Alan read over it, and he's like, Gemini isn't a person. That's the AI generation tool. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And while Alan has his opinions on AI generative tools, I mean, some of them are reasonable, but I think I ultimately disagree with him. I think the way that he used it is still ultimately okay because he wasn't relying on AI necessarily for the creation of this project. He was simply using it in order to... God, my brain's doing the thing again. He was simply using it to give the artists reference as to what he wants. He was using it as a tool to help produce his vision more clearly and then fine tweak it with actual artists. I think that is a very ethical use of AI generation. Very different from how we see corporations like McDonald's and Coca-Cola use AI, where they just flat out use AI generation and completely replace the artists and remove any creative integrity that the project could have had ever. I think it ultimately comes down to why the person uses AI. I think if you use the AI in order to cut as many corners as possible and to remove as many people from the process as possible, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. If you're just using AI to generate the product itself, then the product is only as good as people see it. No, that's not quite what I want to say. How do I want to say this? The product can only be as good as... It can only be as good as you care. If you care about the product, then you're going to put a lot more care, and there's going to be a lot more integrity into it. Whether or not you use AI, there's going to be care in it, and people will be able to tell. But if you just type in a prompt and just refresh the prompt to try and tweak it and get the AI to do what you want it to do, may I argue that's not very creative. It's not constructive. It has no integrity. There is nothing substantial there. There's also the argument that really pisses me off is when people talk about the AI and how it's starting a discussion through its discourse. Like, if AI is supposed to make people feel something, then the anger that it makes you feel should only legitimize it as an art form even more. It is called AI generative art, heavy quotes, in the first place. And again, those are the people who don't understand why people create in the first place. And they never did, and they never will. They never will understand. And I need them to know that just because they don't think the same way that you think, artists, just because artists don't think the same way that you think, all you AI bros, doesn't mean that they also hate the process of art. It's not just their job that you're attacking. You're attacking creative integrity itself. And if you don't understand why that's a bad thing, then don't mess with it. That it feels so obvious to me, right? I feel like it's obvious to everybody why AI generation is bad. And that's thankfully why you see whenever corporations tend to use AI, they get boycott real hard. They get angry mobs and everything yelling at them for using AI, calling them out. And some companies care enough about that potential creative integrity that they're willing to fake behind-the-scenes content in order to try and convince the population that it's made with real people. Why do you think they're trying to convince people that the art is made by artists and not machine? It's because that creative integrity is important. It's always been important. It's always going to be important. And it's something that only us humans have been able to really comprehend. But if you can't comprehend why something creative has been able to make you feel a certain way and reflect on your life for any meaningful purpose, then maybe it's just not for you. I also am fully aware that most of these AI bros that use AI generative tools and want to replace artists and think that AI is just the way to go in the future, which, I partially agree with you. I'll get on that in a minute. Um, fuck, what was I saying? Hey, stop it. Dang it. And I'm going to look back at this and be frustrated that I wasn't able to finish my thought. I do that a lot. It's my ADHD for you. I was talking about how companies are trying to convince us that there's creative integrity behind their projects when there really isn't. Oh, yeah. And the AI bros, they're all corporate headed. They don't actually care, dude. They don't give a fuck about why artists actually do art because they are in it for the money. I think we all know that. That's no shocker to anybody. They're in it for the money. Of course they are. What else would they be doing it for? That's the only thing that they have that they could potentially benefit from. Yeah. Disappointing, right? Yeah. And if you just care about the money and you don't care about the creative integrity, you're never gonna create about the creative integrity. And if money means everything to you, then I feel sorry for you, because then when you get rich and rich and richer, you'll realize how empty that actually is. I wish I could say I knew that from experience. Don't get me wrong, money has its uses. It can absolutely make people happy. It can change lives. My life would be completely changed if I had $1 million right now. I'd be able to fund my movie, like no worries. Like that'd be awesome, dude. But notice how I said I'd use it for my movie and not for, personal gain or building up a business. I don't know. Mr. Beast as well. Oh my God, I'm going to talk about Mr. Beast for a bit. It used to be so taboo to talk about disliking Mr. Beast, and now it's becoming the norm. And originally I thought that this was just because he is popular, and generally the more popular you become, the more popular you are, the more people are just going to decide that they don't like you. And hey, I'm fully aware of that. I've learned that myself. I've been on the other end of that stick. People don't like me, and I've had to deal with that. I've already talked about that many times before. Not the point. But Mr. Beast is an interesting case. He is pro AI, but wants you to think he isn't because he has a reputation to withhold. He made an entire AI thumbnail tool and tried to promote it as this really cool paid thing that you can get on one of his services. And then people were screaming at him, telling him that that he missed the mark, or that, like, this is just disgusting. AI generative tools are gross. And then he took it down in order to save face. But that's kind of it. I mean, why else would he have put so much time and money into that generative tool if he didn't think that it had actual practical use? It has use for business owners, and that's kind of it. I wouldn't be surprised if he still had the tool set up privately somewhere, maybe not in his name, but he's still profiting off of it. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. In fact, I kind of expect that. Pardon me. Because you don't put so much time and money into that sort of project just to take it down immediately because a bunch of people say they don't like it. Because there's absolutely a lot of people who would use that. Unfortunately, I wish they didn't, but those people exist. Now, as I said earlier about why I agree with that, that the future of art and animation is kind of impossible without AI. Part of the reason that it's impossible is because the box has been opened. There's no going back. Even when the AI bubble pops, AI will still be here. AI tools will still be able to be used. They may not be as efficient when that bubble pops because there won't be as much money in it, but the tools will still be around. And I support that. Now, before you go raising your pitchforks, I know I've also just been spending the last 40 minutes talking about how AI bad. I don't think AI generation belongs in the creative process. However, I do believe AI tools can help the creative process. And that you can relate more to the argument that, like when 2D animators saw Toy Story for the first time and realized that 2D animation was dead. You can argue that AI tools are going to have a similar effect. Yes, it will be taking jobs. Yes, it already has been taking jobs. But it's not completely replacing every artist off the face of the earth. And I really do feel for all the artists out there. But now that this possibility has been put out there, and at least in the United States, AI restriction can't be possible because it's been placed into effect that no laws can be made regarding AI within the next 10 years, which is just really upsetting to hear. Pardon me. But say like Adobe Animate has this tool called the Align tool, and it gives you several options when you select an object on the screen of where along the stage to align the object. And you can select multiple, you select many, and it can make certain processes very efficient. There's also tweening, which kind of like automatically in between stuff. Forgot that I needed more pickaxe. There's tweening, which is like it's an automated in-betweening method. It's very robotic and very lifeless, but it has its uses. And, you know, it has, I'm sure that function may have replaced the need to do some certain tasks that have been built up steadily over the industry before. Does that make sense? Yeah, I hope so. Because I believe that's what's going to happen with AI tools in the future. It's going to give us tools to help make the process of animation, not even just animation, of art, of music, a lot of other stuff, a lot better, a lot more efficient, a lot less time consuming. Dang, that looks weird. Kind of neat though. Pardon me. Man. I don't know. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm not just preaching to the choir. I hope the people that see this are the AI bros, and I hope this can start an actual productive discussion, and I hope my perspective and slight anger and irritation can help you understand our perspective as artists. I don't mean to just start arguments. That's not productive. Arguments are not productive. Conversations are. And if we get to the point where it's just name calling and you're so stubborn that you don't want to admit that your side is wrong, then I don't want to have a conversation with you because you're miserable. And prove me wrong, please do. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you think I'm stupid and you have nothing actually with integrity to say and comment on. And I will be sure to not pay attention and completely ignore you, because that's what your time is worth to me. Yay. Okay. But if you actually have a good point, I would love to discuss it in the comments. I'm not going to lie. Oh. Who would have guessed that mobs were spawning on my mob spawner? I don't know why I didn't expect this. This is kind of stupid. Should have expected that. I should have gone to sleep. Oh well. It's okay. Just try and be faster. Yeah. As for music, I think there are some cases where it can be useful. Those of you who know me well, you know that I really, really like AJR. They are my favorite band. I'm proud. I know they're not the most liked band in the world. I know they have plenty of haters. But I don't know. I really enjoy their content. I don't need to defend myself as to why. The reason I bring them up is because in an interview they were actually asked about what they think about AI being in the music art space. And they had a really interesting point, I will say. I'm going to take that. Hello? That was weird. Oh, that's going to get plugged up. Okay, I'm going to temporarily light this up, just so I don't have to deal with all the mobs for now while I set this thing up. I'm also going to build an infinite water source. Okay. And we'll place this up here. Oh, oops. Oh, there that goes. Cool. Alright. I guess I'm just staying there because I don't have anything to break it with. Oh well. Boom, 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 boom. I think I messed this up. Fuck. I wasn't supposed to start building right here. That's what I was supposed to do. Let's place signs right here. And then put water there on top of it. Yeah. Ooh, that was close, actually. And then I was supposed to build up 4 more. Well, let's get to undoing some of this. Dang. Oh, I'm stupid. Dang it. Alright, hang on. That's unfortunate. Why did I stop to just look down? Because I'm supposed to build it up more, 4 more blocks. I'm supposed to build up there. Well, I'm dumb, but that's okay. You can fix it. I'm only human after all. Drat, dude. Yeah, and then I was supposed to build these out. Yeah. Oh well, I need to go down and get a few pickaxes so I can take this down and then rebuild. Because I'm stupid. Sorry, I kind of need to go back down and get a bunch more anyway. Yeah. Oh well, that's okay. Hey, people make mistakes. Yeah, over here. Yeesh. Oh boy, and I have mobs to worry about. And a witch. That's real cool. Okay, I don't want to lead them into my little place there. Alright. Go ahead and sleep. Ooh. Anyway, I was talking about AJR. Because in an interview, they were talking about AI in music. And I think Ryan especially had a lot of really good and wise things to say about it all. Also realizing I could have just done this up there, but whatever, at least I got to sleep. The way that he used AI was in order to save time, which, you know, is kind of the big thing. I think that's the big appeal to why AI might be useful to artists. I also had a bed in my inventory. I really didn't need to make that whole trip. Oh, you're still following me. That's cool. Thanks. appreciate it. Oh, and you're in here. That's cool. Goodbye. They used it in order to, what'd they do? Yeah, you know, like the videos that you find online with like Mr. Krabs singing covers, or Plankton, or J Schlatt, all those AI covers. He used that in order to tell if a song would sound better with his voice or his brother, Jack's voice. That's the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. Sorry, I forget who they are sometimes. But you know, Jack is the lead singer of the band, and sometimes you'll hear Ryan singing instead. Pardon me. But more often than not, it's Jack that you hear in AJR. If you ever noticed that the vocals sound a little different and not like the normal guy, it's because it's not the normal guy. All right, here we go. Yay, I get to undo all this work that I just did. But he wanted to see how the song would sound with his voice, instead of having him come into the studio and record his voice on the song and see if it would sound better in the composition. And you know, he didn't have to waste his brother's time, and was able to just, you know, if they had learned that Jack's voice would have been better fitting for the song than Ryan, then they would have just recorded Jack's voice. They wouldn't have had AI do the whole thing, but it would have been a useful tool for them to use so that they know whose voice sounds better for the song. Instances like that are really good, I believe. I think AI has its place in art, in all art. Just not in generative art. I completely disagree. And I think, you know, I also kind of want to, not really attack, but you know what I mean. I want to address the artists and general consumer who are very offended by the existence of AI art. And I would like to say that putting a blanket statement over all AI is not helping anybody. If anything, I think you're more similar to the AI bros than anyone else. If you strongly believe that AI just should not be a thing, you don't see anything good that can come out of it, don't get me wrong, I get what you're trying to say. But that's not a productive conversation. That's not a productive mindset to have. That is just denying any of the potential good that AI can do. And yeah, I can pull out the semantics being like, oh, but AI has helped leads in cancer research. But that's not the argument that we're having. We're talking about art. We're talking about art. Obviously, it's going to do really good things for us as the human race. Why did I do it like this? Am I stupid? Don't answer that. Whatever. Commit. Ooh, that was close. That was too close for comfort. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, man. Yeah, I'd say that you're not being as productive as you might think you are. If you're just saying the same thing, telling us that you don't support any AI, I think that's also very ignorant of you. I think you're ignoring a lot of the good that AI can do. I do also believe that there is a point in production of any project where AI or tools in general, doesn't even have to be AI, but tools will be developed over time that are going to replace people's jobs. That sucks. Like, it's happened to people already, and yeah, I know it sucks. I don't really have a good answer for you at the moment. We can try and get it into legislation whenever we can, but again, we've got to... we can't really make legislation on it for 10 years here in the US, but I hope you can use your creative tools in order to find other work. You know, there's also the other argument that companies are now making people use AI or else they're going to get fired. So, you know, then what do you do? Because that's your fucking livelihood. It is a very complex issue. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. But, like, we are in a time where the creative space is changing for good and for bad. Believe it or not, things can be both. You know, you can be two things. AI tools can be a good thing and they can be a bad thing. They have definitely proven themselves to be a bad thing in many, many ways. Don't get me wrong. I definitely agree with you there. But it's also done us a lot of good, as much as I hate to admit it. I think the biggest flaw with AI is just how irrationally angry it makes people, if I'm being honest. There was a huge controversy that started quite a while ago that I ended up getting involved in. It was with one of our DojaCast episodes where we clickbaited a little too hard to the sun. And we're trying to make it seem like we were pro-AI, but really we were just trying to, get people to hear what we had to talk about and start a discussion. But turns out, if you mention AI, a lot of people are just going to see that you might support AI, and then they're going to hate you. Like Markiplier, for example. Same exact thing. Markiplier used ChatGPT in one of Ethan Nestor's videos. He used it as a joke, but people took it very seriously and tried to cancel him over it. And then Mark made a response being like, yes, I admit it. I was the first to be sounding the fucking alarms. And he was. He really was. He made videos on DALL-E, that funny image generation tool when AI image generation was starting and it looked terrible. And we were all laughing at how fucking bad it was. But now look at where we are. Mark literally predicted this exact scenario. He knew that it would get to this point where AI would become good enough to replace us. And he was terrified of that. And he was telling us about that back in like the early 2000s, not 2000, the early 2020s, maybe even before then. But the reason I bring that up, people feel very passionate about this, and I get it. But if you're too passionate that you have your fingers in your ears saying, la 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 la, I can't hear you, then you're no better than the AI bros, genuinely. If you don't want to have a discussion about it and actually talk about potential resolutions to this conflict that we're all having together, then you may as well not be participating in the conversation at all. Because that is useless. That is a useless way to spend all of our time. You're not just wasting your time, you're wasting ours. So if I were to talk to anyone in the comments, I'm really only going to be focusing on the comments that might have anything to say that's worth discussing. But if you go straight to the comments, and you're not even going to be listening to this point, I'm predicting that there might be some people, it depends on what I call this video. I might clickbait it to see, I might experiment and see if those people are still out there, if they still get angry at just the word AI. Old man yells at air for nothing. But I'm just not going to interact with those people, and I strongly encourage that nobody else does. If you are in a position where you see people talking about AI, discussing AI, and they seem so set in their ways that they're using all of the bland default arguments and aren't having a productive conversation about fucking anything, then move on. Believe it or not, you do not have to talk to them. You don't have to prove them right or wrong. If they're not worth your time, you don't need to tell them that. You can just move on with your life. Move on to another potential discussion that might actually be productive. Because if they're that fucking stubborn, they're not going to care ever. I know that's a little cynical. A little cynical way to view it. But I do believe that those kinds of people are so stubborn, set in their ways, that they just don't care. They don't care about having a conversation. They care about winning an argument. And if you're ever talking to someone who just wants to win an argument, you've already lost. If you started arguing with them, you've lost. There's no coming back from that. I'm sorry. I used to talk to someone who was very, very, very argumentative. And it got so bad to the point that we really tried to sit him down and tell him that we didn't like talking with him because he was just annoying to talk to. We couldn't really have a conversation. It would always turn into an argument. And then he'd always say, like, oh, no, I don't argue, while still continuing to argue. It got so bad to the point that he ended up arguing something, and I'm sure he meant it by accident, but he argued something that ended up being really homophobic. I don't know if he saw it that way, but there were, I was on a Discord stage at the time, and there were members of my audience there that did fall under that category. And yeah, they took offense to it, as they should have. I think they have every right to feel that way when someone says something that disgusting. Pardon me. And I don't even think he realized that what he did was wrong. And ever since then, I haven't really talked to him. I don't think being around those kinds of people is healthy at all for anybody. And I don't have to interact with those people. So, as much as I'd love to argue, I don't. So I'm not going to. And if you want to argue about why you should argue, then go ahead and argue that. I'm not going to listen. Why did I do that? It gives me a shot to collect all the cobblestone down here, so I'll take it. Oh, thank you, but you're kind of pushing everything around. Can you stop? Oh, man. Dang, there's a lot down here. It's almost like I made a huge mistake. Huh. How queer. Hello, goodbye, zombie. Alright. Cool. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Man, I went off on AI for a lot longer than I intended. I thought it was just going to be like a subtopic of today's episode, but I hope you all enjoyed that discussion. I'm not going to end the episode, but I feel like I've said all I need to say about that topic, about AI, generative tools, and it was mostly a discussion about the people who argue about AI, I think. I think most of my audience, though, are artists, so who knows, this is probably going to end up falling up on deaf ears, but I do hope this can spawn a creative discussion. Sorry. Think about AI people and the word creative does not go together, does it? No, it doesn't. Hi, sir. Can you leave me alone? Thank you. All right. Got a bunch. I don't think I had too much else. Yeah, I still have another pickaxe. I'm good. I'm good for a little. Oh. All right. Did I leave a way for me to get back up there? I don't know if I did. Cool. Yeah, I didn't. Great. Good job. Good job, me. Thanks, me. Okay, here's what we're going to do. This is a technique that I learned a while ago. This is one way to climb. Oh, careful. Booyah! Back up here. Hell yeah. Didn't have to waste a single block. Cool. Yeah, apologies. I didn't mean to really go on a tangent like that, but I hope you all understand where I'm coming from, what I'm getting at. I think I'm just going to focus on destroying here real quick. Just enjoy some calm block breaking sounds. Sorry, I am 100% using this as an excuse to just allow myself to breathe a bit. I am having trouble breathing again, so. Yay! Allergies are fun. Isn't that fun, having to think about breathing? As like that joke, people being like, "Your breathing is switched to manual," but like that's just me half the time. Huh. I didn't see that there before. Neato. No, I think it's fine. I'm gonna go back down and pick up more stuff. Oh man, look at all those. What do you think? What do you think keeps us coming back to Minecraft? I mean, everyone talks about having their own 2-week Minecraft phase, but I feel like I end up having it a lot more frequently than most. Is it just the process of doing things? Starting over and making something new? Because I can't really name any other game I do the same kind of thing to. Minecraft is really unique in its way that just kind of makes me want to keep playing. Not in like any kind of consumer way, because like I don't, you know, you pay one time and then the game's there forever. But there's something that keeps me wanting to come back and just try things a bit differently. Why did I make this series? Partially just to, you know, yap and talk a bunch. But I know there's more to it than that. Do you think it's something that naturally humans should want to do? Go back and just start all over again? Is there something refreshing in, you know, restarting? You know, I hear every now and then about these people who talk about their Minecraft worlds and how it's lasted them years, and they have so much history through their worlds, but I tend to make a new world every time. I think there's a reason to that. Is it just that I like having a clean slate so I can start a new idea? Maybe. Possibly. It's just a fun game. And I can't help but, you know, repeat the same tasks over and over. You know, get your base materials, explore some caves, build a home. I don't know, there's something that called to me. Make me want to do a series like this. Not just to talk, but to do things I've never done before in Minecraft. But why did I feel so strongly about it? To make me want to do this. I think I feel bad for the AI bros. As weird as that is to say. And I think the reason I feel bad for them is because they're never going to understand why us creatives think in the way that we do. But is it worth having a conversation with them if we know that they'll probably never understand? I mean, people's brains just work in so many different ways. Can't really blame them, you know. And I don't know their full story. None of us will. We also don't have to. Well, I disagree with them. I don't want them, like, dead or anything like that. I don't think anyone does. And if you do, I think that's irrational and gross and yucky and icky. But I wish that they could understand. Because that whole retrospection I just had about why I keep coming back to play Minecraft, do you think they have anything like that? Because I can turn those thoughts into something creative. I can turn that into a story, a message to tell. And, you know, they just kind of shove a prompt into a website and then show people thinking that they're making something. Like, a part of me wants to be really mean to people who are pro-AI generation, but I don't know. You don't know the full story. You never do. In kind of a beautiful way, too. Sorry, what the... What was that? Oh, shoot. Sorry, I'll be right back. Something is at the front door. Okay, sorry about that. Oh, that's probably why I'm having trouble breathing. My filter isn't even turned on. You see, that's just how raw this series is. I ain't gonna cut that out. See, what I'm doing with this series isn't even that creative. I'm just playing a game I like and talking. But sometimes that talking can lead to something cool. It's not much, but it's a hell of a lot more meaningful than any of that AI garbage we see. More meaningful than it will ever be. thought-provoking episode. I don't know, I feel like I've said so much and now I don't have anything else to say, but I don't want to stop playing. I really want to finish this mob farm. And I definitely had a huge setback there, so who knows, I might have already been done if I didn't fuck that up. But we're almost caught back up. Almost. If you've made it this far, I'd like to try this out. I want you guys to ask questions. It doesn't even have to be about me. Just ask questions, and maybe I'll spend the next solo episode talking about them. It can be about me if you want. I find them a little awkward, but hey, if there's something you want to know, I'll talk about it. You know, I spent the last, well, pretty much almost all my free time yesterday working on the rock, paper, scissors collab. And I'm feeling really happy with it, but I'm, you know, reasonably worried. This is a collab unlike anything that anyone that I've ever seen has done before. So I hope people like it after all this time that we're putting into it. I know I'm not going to be able to hit a February release date. That is impossible at this point. I was hoping it would be doable and I'd be able to reach Stick Figure Day, but no, I had to go and make this whole thing a movie. Where'd the rest of those blocks go? What? Bah humbug. Oh well. Alright, here we go. Back to the mines. Hopefully we can finish this thing soon. I didn't put any torches up there. That's okay. Who needs torches when you can not? Am I right or am I right? No. The answer is no, I'm not right. I have to make another pickaxe, but we'll see how far this gets me. Dang, a lot of progress has been made down here. Hell yeah. Really don't have a whole lot else to say. I really want to finish this build, man. I might need like 3 more stacks to finish this. And then I'm gonna probably need a lot more wood because I need a lot of trapdoors for this. Hey, if you've been watching this far in, I appreciate it. No gnarly doing anything interesting at this point. I'm Imagine most of you were just kind of having this on in the background. Oh, I know I shouldn't waste wood. I just don't want to go back up. Yeah, I can just leave this thing down here. Boom. It's alright, we're spending iron to make iron. Because they're going to be dropping iron, too. There we go. I can see how many I have at all times. Trying to think of how long it's actually going to take to finish RPS. Because like I did make a lot of progress yesterday. And I got on a few more people onto the team. But on top of the cutscene animation that I'm primarily focused on right now, I have to make my own original track. That's going to be the first track in the video. Performed and produced by yours truly. I also have to finish the actual compilation. I have to have the custom entries finished by the remaining like 10 or so people who are really taking their time with it, man. You know, it's fine. I get it. I'm not asking cheaply of them. All right. Yeah, I think this will do. I might as well just fill out this last one. Why not? There we go. All right, let's go up and let's finish this thing. At least aside from the trapdoors. We'll get there eventually. It's nighttime. I'm gonna go sleep real quick. Okay. Oh, I also figured out what the whole Garrett thing was in the chest. It wasn't a code. It was just the word lol spelt out in apples. Am I dumb as bricks or what? I seriously thought there was more to that. Shout out to Pieman for spelling that out literally for me. God, do I feel stupid overthinking that. But what if there's more? There could be more. Oh, man. Okay. Come on, get me up there. Get me up there. Get me up there. Without killing me, ideally. Okay, I gotta finish the wall. I don't think I'll add a ceiling yet, actually. Well, no, I'm gonna add the ceiling. Fuck it. Real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and add the torches here. Now let's hope 4 stacks of blocks gets me the whole way there. I don't think I'm gonna have enough. Dang it. God, why is it so expensive? Dang it! Fuck! Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 77. Plus one I need. A stack. 78. Oh my god. 78 minus 64 is 12, right? Yeah, I think so. Okay. A stack and 12 of cobblestone. And then I should just need a bunch of trapdoors. So while I'm down here, I don't have an axe. Okay, I gotta make an axe. So I'm gonna go get a little over a stack of cobblestone and then mine a bunch of these trees. They don't all need to be the same color. I just want the exterior to all look the same. Okay. This hole is getting big. Jesus. Alright, stacking 12. Half a stack. Five, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. 14. I did miscount. Okay. Glad I checked. Awesome. Got my axe. Still got plenty of daylight. Let's go mine a bunch of trees. Don't want acacia because acacia is disgusting. I want these guys. supply's about to disappear. Deforestation, let's go. I'm wood phobic. Oh, thought I saw something in the distance. Nope, we're good. These though, these are gonna be a little irritating to get rid of. Unless that's literally it. I think that's it. Neat. Alright, let's hope that's enough wood. Alright, let's go back up. Come on, yeah, because when I get the water elevator set up, pretty much what that is, you just get soul sand and then turn all these into source blocks with seaweed. And then it turns into bubbles that push you up. And you can use those to your advantage to move faster up water. Huzzah. Alright, I'm gonna sleep real quick. Cool. Why am I doing that? Why am I holding my hand out like I'm about to jerk off? Alright, whatever. Ah, pardon me. Okay. Okay, we'll leave that hole open for now. If I miscalculated, I'm gonna be so angry. Oh, perfect. Oh my god, yes. Okay, cool. Alright, now I have to line these with trapdoors like so. Okay. Awesome. No. What? Oh, why did I do that? Oh, I'm an idiot. No. Okay. I made so many slabs that I'm never gonna use. Oh, what did I do? It's okay. We have birch. Hopefully this will be enough. I don't know how many I need, but hopefully this is enough. Jesus. This better be enough. Cool. Please let me have enough, sir. Let's do that. I don't have to be crouching. What the hell? Okay. Good. And then I need to do this. Because we want to stop spiders from spawning. So we gotta place them in this pattern specifically. I don't think I'm gonna have enough. Damn, I shouldn't turned all of those into slabs. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Dang it. Oh well. I can always go down and get more, but I was hoping this would be the last trip. But now it's not, and I look like a stupid fuck. Whatever. Stupid, stupid, stupid Brandon. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna have enough, but still got most of them. Dang. Okay. Okay, well I need 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 20. 28. I need 28 more. Back the fuck down I go, I guess. Guess we're using acacia. Alright. Dang, that was so stupid making all those slabs. Only I could pull off that idiocy. Get these other two. Hopefully this is enough. Bruh. Whatever. Alright. Hopefully this is enough. How many times have I said that? Oh, there's 2 more trees down here. I might as well get. Just in case. Alright, we're almost there. Just gotta head all the fucking way back up. The hell? Oh. Just fucking swim. Bruh. Alright, fine. Do it your way. Am I even swimming? Okay, there we go. Jesus. Why? Why does it do that? What am I doing differently? Okay. Now, do the oak planks first. 18, I think it's going to be enough. We'll see how far this gets us. It's fine. Let's leave that like that. We're almost done anyway. Okay. 6 more. Oh shit! No! Why am I a failure? Everything's fine. Cool. Just gotta go back up. No big deal. There we go. There's the rest of them. Okay. Before I go any further. Where did I leave the water? There it is. care if I lose these. Nice. Those for now. Okay. Working perfectly so far. Okay. Remove all the light sources. Let all of these down. Leave out from here. Destroy that. Place cobblestone there. Now I just want to make sure this works. Oh, I forgot to fill the top. Oh, fuck. I forgot to get rid of the... Alright, we're not done yet. I forgot I need to fix a couple things. Damn it. It's okay. We'll get there. I'll get this done. Cool. There. Okay, and now I gotta use this method again. Get back up here. Come on. There we go. Okay, hello. Yeah, they're spawning on top, aren't they? God damn it. Fuck. That's fine. Cool. Shit, not a creeper, not a creeper, not a creeper. Please, bro. Damn it. Okay, well, I didn't destroy that much. I'm just gonna patch it with andesite. Oh wait, I have... Cool. Hey man, sorry. Oh, that's why. Okay. Okay, and now I just gotta flood the top with torches. Make sure nothing can spawn up here. Okay. And there's gonna be placing in there as well, just to be sure. Alright, now it should be good. I can't think of a single reason why this wouldn't work. So... I just need to go back up here and make sure this water is destroyed. Okay, I need to have a bucket. Oh yeah, and I need to block that off. Take that. Good. Now that's going away. Oh, that's perfect. Hell yeah. Alright. Now we wait. And I have to really be careful not to crouch. In case I get any guests. Oh. Yes, because apparently if you crouch and a creeper's here, they can see you. So if I crouch right now, I'm fucking... all this is gone. But... Wow. Wild. It's working! Let me try going back up. Neat. Okay, so I can just like sit here for a while and wait for them to all come down. Awesome. Now, I was hoping they would be more like one hit from damage. Seems like they're not for some reason, but if I get sharpness on the sword, then it's not going to matter. And hopefully that will be any time now. So, but hey, this is done. So I think next time that I'm on, I just crouched. Next time I'm on, I'm going to turn this into a proper elevator. Maybe build like a simple wall around this, or like a fence even. Just to prevent anyone from feeling like they need to crouch off of this thing. Damn, this thing loves creepers. Very interesting. Cool. Neat. It's working. Yeah. Sick. Awesome. Okay, yeah, this is sick. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna turn this into a proper elevator. This is modular, so I can continue building on top of this. So if I really want things to speed up, which seems like they're already going pretty fast. Like, if I just sit here for a while, then I'm chilling. Honestly, I might play some of this offline so I can grind, because I don't think that's going to be very exciting to record. So I know I've kind of made it a soft rule of myself to only play this game when I'm recording, but I think this is an exception. I think this is fine. I don't think you guys are going to be mad if I sit here for a while as I grind mobs and just do this shit for a long time. Look at that. Hell yeah. I don't know where the cobblestone came from, but sweet. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry it ended up just becoming me sitting here quietly, but I hope you enjoyed the discussion about AI. I don't think I have much else to say about it in general, so I probably won't be dedicating episodes to it. But we'll see, unless something like advances in AI technology and I feel the need to talk about it. But honestly, I am even pretty sick of AI, so like all of us are, let's be honest. Everyone's sick of AI. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.